Okay, so this is going to be an endurance input for the lumbar spine, and I'm going to show it in extension. And what you're going to do is these are going to work those deep stabilizer muscles, so the multifidus in this case, and we're going to teach it how to contract and fire for, again, a long period of time, so for a minute 30. So ideally, you're going to get down on the ground. You can just kind of put your legs flat on the ground and kind of bend your knees. And then from here, you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them on your lumbar spine. So here's my rib cage. I want to put them below my rib cage, right above my waistband, right here on on the lumbar spine. And you can stack them on top of each other to get you a little more extension. And then now all I'm going to do from here is I'm going to push my tailbone into the floor and think about if I was pulling the floor up towards my head. So if I'm pushing my tailbone into the floor, I think about pulling the floor up towards my head. And then I can think about also trying to drive my belly button away from my hands. So I can think about taking my belly button up towards the ceiling and pushing my tailbone into the ground and pulling my tailbone up towards my head. So I'm really trying to feel that contraction in the lumbar spine, which I do. And I'm going to keep honing in on that and keep thinking about that and trying to make that contraction stronger for this minute 30 seconds. So what you don't want to do is, I shouldn't see you do that. Shouldn't see really any movement because you don't want to flare the ribs. You want to keep the ribs still. We're trying to just isolate that lumbar spine. So it's an isometric, so meaning you really won't see movement, but you should feel the contraction. Push the tailbone into the ground. Think about sweeping the ground up towards the head as you try to think about taking the belly button away from the hands. And the hands are just going to pitch you into a little bit of that lumbar extension that we want. So ideally, if your lumbar spine was tucked under, you would be thinking about untucking it and really doing that and trying to tilt it up towards the ceiling, okay? So that's what you're thinking about doing. And again, it's an isometric, so you won't really move. It's already going to be in this position, and you're thinking about, at the end range, trying to squeeze out more extension of those erectors, okay, without really flaring the ribs.